Perfect. And we're recording, so I'm going to hand over to Claire now, who's going to take you through today's session. Enjoy, guys.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. I'm really looking forward to the next 45 minutes. So if you do have the playlist and you would like to use it to go along with the practice, then you can press play now. Make sure it's not on shuffle, just so we're all listening to the same thing. Or if you prefer just to do it silently, then feel free to do that as well. So I'm just going to press play. Okay, lovely. So if we all come to your mat and just take a kneeling position on the floor. Option to come onto the toes to get a bit of a toe stretch here if you would like to, if that's comfortable, or you can lay flat with the backs of your feet onto the mat. And we're just going to take a moment here just to settle into the practice, settle onto your mat, and just letting go of your week and your day and preparing for this delicious Sunday stretch that I'm going to take you through to help support your muscles, help you recover, help you train better for your next week. So taking a nice deep in breath into the body. Feel the breath coming into the belly and the chest, pausing when you get to the top, and exhale through the mouth. Closing your eyes and really connect to the feeling of the breath through the body. As you inhale, feel the oxygen filling up every part of your lungs. And as you exhale, feel your shoulders gently relaxing, creating a little bit more space. On the next inhale, take the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, round the shoulders back. Your hands can come away to the mat if that's comfortable. Just doing that one more time. Inhale, shoulders come back. Exhale, back into their sockets. On the next inhale, bring your hands all the way up towards the sky. As you exhale, place your left hand down on the mat. Inhale, sit nice and tall. Exhale, sink over towards the left side of the room. Feel the stretch down the right side of your body. Try to place a little bit of pressure into the right hand so you're not sinking too deep. You still want to give yourself a little bit of lift. Nice. And inhale, come back through to center, reaching those hands up. And exhale, opposite side. Moving over towards the right side now. You can send the gaze up towards the fingertips. And taking some nice deep breaths. Inhale, come back through to center. This time we're going to twist over to the left side. So right hand comes on the outside of the left leg. Left hand comes behind you. Inhale, sit nice and tall. Exhale, twist. You should feel maybe you've got a couple of cracks here. That's totally normal. Just coming into a gentle spine twist. Very detoxifying. And especially if you've got any tension around the shoulders, this will also help loosen. Nice. Inhale, come back through to center. And exhale, twist over to the opposite side. Sitting nice and tall. And then on the exhale, twist. Try to keep the chin towards the center so you're not twisting too much with the neck, making it uncomfortable. Lovely. And then inhale, come back through the center. One more time, lift up. Keep the hands together. Exhale, draw the fingers all the way down to the heart center. Bow the head and ready to start the practice. Taking the hands by the side of the body, and we're just going to gently, if you're on your tiptoes, you can come back onto the backs of the feet, and we're just going to lay back and just lift the knees up slightly, just to give yourself a little bit of a toe stretch or foot stretch on the front of your feet. If this is really uncomfortable, then you can skip it out. But just to start with just loosening up the tops of the feet, which does help injuries with your plantar fascia. Really good for runners. So don't spend too long there, just coming back to center. And then we're going to come onto all fours position. So if you have your cushion and you want to place a cushion under your knees, feel free, or if you feel quite comfortable, you can just place the hands underneath the shoulders, knees hip width apart. We're going to drop the belly and lift the chest on the inhale. And on the exhale, round through the spine, tuck the chin in and push away from the floor with the fingertips, gripping into the mat and creating space around the shoulder. Inhale, send the chest forward, arch the back, look forward. Exhale, round the spine, chin tucks in, pushing through the hands, getting that deep cow stretch through the shoulders. Inhale again, sending the chest forward. And then if you want to take a couple of extra movements here, you can move into the side body. Make a figure of 8 with the hips. Just whatever feels tight that you need to work into. So just a couple of breaths, free movement here. And exhale. Lovely stuff. Okay, coming back through to center. Keeping the knees underneath the hips, hip width apart. And we're just going to walk those hands to the top of the mat and gently drop the chest down onto the mat in front of you. Keep the hips nice and lifted and you'll feel a really deep stretch around the shoulders, around the chest area. And again, if you've been doing a lot of running or upper body work, you'll feel this releasing a little bit of tension and stretching to open up the front of the chest. Inhale to lift up slightly. And exhale, sink those hips back. Draw the chest down to the mat. Doesn't matter how far down you can come, as long as you can feel this around underneath your arms and through the chest, and you're doing it right. On the next inhale, bring the belly forward and then gently let it relax onto the mat, lifting the chest, coming into a baby cobra. Taking one full round of breath here. Keep looking forward so you're not bending the neck back too much. Exhale, take your hands by the side of your chest. Keep the chest lifted. Tuck the toes. Send the hips back to the heels. And inhale, send the hips all the way up towards the sky. So entering your downward dog, this familiar pose to stretch out the backs of the legs, the hamstrings. Don't worry if your heels are not touching the mat. You can bend the knees here. The idea is to keep your spine nice and long. Send your gaze down to your toes. Again, so you're not lifting or hurting your neck in any way. And we're just going to gently pedal out the feet. So by keeping the knees bent, you can then straighten the right leg. And then straighten the left. So sort of like walking out this downward dog position. This is also a good time just to notice if you have maybe one side of the body that's feeling a little bit more tighter. So remembering to connect with the breath, keep breathing through any stiffness, any tightness. Notice what your hands are doing. You want to be keeping a lot of the weight into your fingertips as well as the wrists. So try to grip into the mat as you're doing this. And then gently we're going to walk our feet all the way to the top of the mat. So tiptoeing, take as many little steps as you wish. And as you reach the top of the mat, take a soft bend in the knees, feet are hip width apart. And gently take hold of each elbow, rocking left to right. Chin tucked in. And just allow yourself to feel really heavy here. Just letting go of any tension in the face. Taking some nice deep breaths. Lovely stuff. Taking the hands down to the mat, heel toe your feet out just a little bit wider now than hip width. We're going to bend the right leg. Right hand stays on the mat, left hand rises. So you should start to feel a deeper stretch in your left hamstring. Then the gaze towards the left fingertips. Lovely. Inhale, come back through to center, take a forward fold. Exhale, left hand, left knee bends. Inhale, reach up, right hand to the sky. We're going to do that one more time on each side. Inhale, hands come back down to the mat. Exhale, bend the right knee, right hand in towards the mat, left hand reaches up. Inhale here. Exhale, both hands down to the mat. Bend the left knee, reach the right hand all the way up. And again, you should feel a deeper stretch in your right hamstring. Lovely. Coming back through to center. Making sure your feet now are a little bit further apart. And then we're going to sit down onto the backs of our heels into our sort of yogi squat almost. If you wish, you can put your books or your blocks underneath your heels to give you that extra support. Or if you can reach your heels down, then feel free just to come and sit down into your squat. Moving out left to right and work your shoulders, hopefully you can see me, work your elbows into the inside edges of the knees. And just rock side to side. You should start to feel your hips. Maybe you feel like they're a little bit tight. We're not going to spend here too long, just loosening out. It's actually quite a gentle way to open up your hips. So just taking a moment here. Nice. Taking your right hand down to the mat, left hand reaches up. Exhale, release. Left hand onto the mat, right hand reaches up. Exhale, release. Hands to the mat, standing all the way up. Heel toe your feet back in towards the center, coming into your forward fold. The toes are touching. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bring your hands all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Really nice. Okay, inhale, lifting your arms all the way up. Exhale, coming all the way down, forward fold. If your hands are just reaching your shins here, just making sure you can still feel the stretch in the back of the legs. Feel free to give the back to the knees a rub. So bringing your hands just behind your hamstrings and rubbing gently behind, massaging out any tightness. Exhale, hands come back down to the mat. Stepping your right foot back. Dropping the right knee. Inhale, lifting the arms all the way towards the ceiling. Sitting up into your low lunge and exhale, sink down a little deeper. Exhale, take your hands behind the back. Inhale, lift the chest. So here you're getting a hip stretch, which can often become tight from lifting lots of weights or from sitting down if you work from your office during the day, as well as training and running. And this area of the hips is the one which will probably become the most tight. So we're just going to stay here for as long as we can, gently lifting up the hips Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. With the hands behind your back, try to lift away slightly. So you're getting an opening through the chest. Again, we tend to hunch over, especially in winter. And from the same position, sitting down quite a lot, lifting heavy weights, so basically this stretch is undoing everything which we tend to do day to day to help create more flexibility. Nice. Lovely stuff. Inhale, lifting the hands all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, sitting back onto your heels. So right toes can come onto the back right hand toes, lifting that left foot up towards the ceiling. And you're coming into your half handman stretch. So again, a really nice, gently does it, hamstring stretch. You can make this as deep as you like by sitting further back. Your left toes are pointing up towards the sky, and you should feel the stretches underneath, just from the back of the leg. Inhale, send the chest forward. And exhale, see if you can sink a little bit deeper. Lovely. Staying here for one more breath. And then gently walking the hands all the way to the top of the mat. Right hand stays on the mat, lifting the right knee up off the floor. Inhale, left hand reaches up towards the ceiling. Option to keep that right knee just resting on the mat, and you should still get that stretch. So you should feel it here in your left glute. So here might be a really good time to get your strap. So we're going to bring the right leg in towards the body. If it's feeling like you can't reach, feel free to take the strap, gently wrap it behind, and then taking an extra little bit of length there. Lovely, looking good, Lily. So again, we're still opening up that left hip area. So notice if you can just sink a little bit deeper. Oh, that was really tight on my side. Can't imagine how it must feel for you as well. Stay with it. Make sure you're opening up that left shoulder. So you want to be, instead of hunching forward, you want to be rotating it back. Nice. And exhale, release. Take your left hand on the outside edge of the left foot. And then we're going to gently step that right foot forwards to meet the left. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way towards standing. Exhale, as you exhale, bring your hands behind the back. Interlace the fingertips. Hands can be behind, and then exhale, forward fold. And again, a really nice opening stretch for the chest area. Inhale here. Exhale, floating your hands all the way down to the mat. And then this time, we're going to step your left foot back. Drop the left knee, reaching the hands all the way towards the sky. Inhale, sink deep into the right hip this time. Exhale, take your hands behind the back. Interlace the fingertips, lift the chest, and just sink that little bit deeper. Lovely. Inhale to sit up out of the Lunge, low lunge, and then exhale to sink down, and notice if you can sink a little bit deeper. Bring your hands far away from the body as you can. And exhale, bring your hands all the way up towards the sky. Gently placing the hands down onto the mat. Roll back onto the right ankle, sitting all the way back, or just hovering here on your left toes, pointing the right toes up towards the ceiling. Inhale, sit nice and tall, and then exhale, fold over that right leg. Your hands can be, or your fingertips just gently resting on the mat, just in line with your right foot. And you should get the full benefit here of that deep hamstring stretch. Nice. Inhale, walking the hands all the way forwards. Keeping the left hand in towards the mat. You can lift the left knee up off the floor as you gently open out and twist, or you can keep that left knee down, your choice. So you know where we're going with this. Feel free to take your strap. And as you exhale, we're going to lift the back foot up off the mat. Inhale here, exhale, sink a little bit deeper. And this is your very, very good way of opening up that front muscle, so your quadricep in your leg, one of the biggest muscles in the legs. And don't worry if you feel like this is really tight. By tomorrow or even the day after, you'll be able to notice the difference just by holding this pose for a few breaths will make all the difference. Making sure you're rotating that right shoulder back so you're getting a little chest opener. Lovely. And exhale, release. Take your right hand to frame the right foot. Lifting the back leg, stepping your left foot forward. Inhale, lift the chest, hands come to the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Guys, okay. Inhale, lifting the hands all the way up, deep breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step the right foot back. Keep the left leg nice and straight. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, folding over that left leg. Again, a really nice deep hamstring stretch for you there. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, bending that left leg. Stepping that left foot back. Coming into a plank pose, lowering the knees, lowering the chest, lowering the chin. Inhale, bring the chest forward, coming into your baby cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips all the way back. And come into a child's pose. And just resting here slightly. Just start to notice the breath. It's important to take as much rest as you can at every given opportunity. And then gently start to deepen the breath. Coming all the way through to tabletop position. Drop the belly, lift the chest. Tuck the toes, send the hips all the way up towards the sky. Gently step the right foot forwards, just behind the back of your hand. So just a small stance. Straighten that right leg. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Lovely. Just pausing here for a moment. And again, noticing if this side feels looser or tighter than the other. It's good to know which side needs a little bit more attention. And then gently bending the knee, send the left toes all the way back and walk that right foot all the way over to the right side of the mat. So option here to come down onto your left knee, taking your cushion or your blocks, and you can either take your forearms onto the mat, onto the cushion, or you can also have a little bit more of a higher position here with your blocks. Or if this is just fine, just having your hands here and you can still feel that hip stretch, then welcome to keep up onto the palms of your hands. So your choice. And we're just going to pause here just for a moment as we settle into that deep hip opener. Your hips are going to love you after this class, so bear with it. If it's painful, just breathe through any horrible feelings. And if the mind starts to wander off, gently try to bring it back to the breath. Really nice. And then if you're on your forearms, coming onto the hands. And then slowly we're going to walk that right foot all the way over towards the left side of the mat. Gently drop that right knee onto the floor. Your foot should be in a diagonal line, so the hips are nice and square. Or if you want a deeper stretch, you can also try and work your shin parallel to the top of the mat. I personally find it a lot more comfortable with a diagonal line with my shin, but take whatever feels good. Option to take your cushion, place it underneath your right hip for extra support. You can also use a block or a book there. Again, making sure those hips are nice and square. Inhale to lift the chest. And then exhale, we're going to melt over that right leg. And deeply work into your right glute area. Placing the back of the forehead, or the forehead on the back of the hands. And just pausing here for a moment. So not only is this pose good for your glutes, it's also quite a nice one for digestion, and it's also a really nice pose to do before going to bed. It's quite relaxing. If it's too intense, lying down on the back of your hands, you can just come onto your forearms. So work with however your body is feeling today. And gently take some nice deep breaths. On the next inhale, we're going to come up onto our forearms. If you're lying down on the mat, keep the chin tucked in. Hands come to the mat, just shoulder width apart. As you inhale, lift the head all the way towards the sky. And as you exhale, we're going to swing that left leg all the way forwards. That's right. So your right foot is on the inside edge of your left thigh. And we're just going to turn to face the left toes. Inhale, lift up hip. And then exhale, fold over. So we're going to keep the chest nice and lifted. Take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, see how far you can bring the body over that left leg. Notice if you're holding any tension again in the face or the jaw, relax. Try and soften those movements. Lovely. Inhale, come back up towards the seated. Crossing the knees, crossing the legs, coming onto the knees. Tuck the toes, send the hips all the way up towards the sky. And then we're going to step that left foot forward. If it needs a little bit of a help in hand, you can bring that left foot just on the outside edge of the left hand. Drop that back knee down. And again, taking your cushion or your block. And then we're going to come onto our forearms again or stay up on our hands. You might find one side is different. Again, notice that we're not perfectly balanced on each side, and that's okay. Remembering to take those deep breaths. Nice. And then gently inhale, coming onto the hands if you're on your forearms. And then we're going to walk that left foot, heel toe, all the way over towards the right side of the mat. Gently drop that knee onto towards the mat there. Making sure those hips are nice and square. Take any props underneath the hips if you need to. Looking good. Once you feel like you're in a good position, your right foot should be pointing back behind you like a long straight pencil. Best way to describe it. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, fold. And again, take the forehead, making a little pillow with your hands, and just letting it rest. Like I mentioned, if you want to stay up on your forearms, feel free to do that too. And taking a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, soften a little bit deeper into the pose. And then start to take a deep in-breath, coming up onto the forearms. Keep the chin tucked in, coming onto the hands. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, we're going to sit back on to our sit bones and reach that right foot all the way forward. Left foot is tucked in. And just resting on the inside edge of your right thigh. Inhale, lift. Look towards your right feet and then fold over. Sorry, you can actually use your strap here for that extra bit of length. Or you can place your hands onto your shin. Inhale, keep the chest nice and lifted. And if you're folding forward, try to fold from the hips rather than rounding the spine, rounding the back. Lovely stuff. So these stretches are all designed to help you recover, train better, train harder, run faster without without preventing your injury. So really well done for making it today. And then release. We're going to come onto our backs. So taking your feet a little bit further forward and then lying back. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Take your hands, place your hands onto the knees. Inhale to push your knees forward. Keep the toes lifted, and then exhale, bring the knees in towards the chest. Inhale, push the knees forward. Exhale, bring them into the chest. Inhale, pushing away. Exhale, bringing them all the way into the body. Taking a bit of a squeeze here, big squeeze. Even bring your forehead towards the knees. And then inhale, sending the feet all the way down to the mat. Taking your arms above the head, lift the hips. Exhale, let the hips rest onto the mat there. Bringing your hands back down to the side body. Inhale, hips and hands lift all the way up. Exhale, let the hips sink down. Do that one more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Bringing the knees back in towards the belly. Hugging into as tight as you can. And then gently dropping the knees over towards the right side. Placing your right hand on top of the left knee. You can let your left hand come out towards the side of you. Send the gaze over towards the left side or your left fingertips. And if you wish it, you can also close your eyes here. And just enjoy this easy twist. And gently exhale, bringing your knees back through to center and then swapping sides. So opposite side, right hand reaches over towards the right side. And send the gaze over towards your right fingertips. Really nice. Take a nice deep breath. Gently bring the knees back in towards the chest. Just make yourself really, really small. And then gently just release everything to the mat, coming into your final position. This is called your Shavasana. And all we need to do here is just rest and soak up all of those movements we've just done. Let your body register. I'm just pausing here for a moment. And if you have more time, feel free to stay in this pose for as long as you like. Or if you would like to start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Just bringing back a little bit of movement. Maybe rock your head from side to side. And then gently, we're going to come onto our side body. So turning to whichever side feels comfortable. Taking the hands, placing the hands underneath the cheek. And just pausing here and just take a moment to close the practice. And giving thanks to your body for all the amazing things it can do. You can keep the eyes closed if you wish, and we're just going to bring ourselves slowly back to center. Taking a seated position. And we're just finished with bringing our hands all the way up. And exhale, bringing your hands to heart center. Gently bow the head. Namaste. Thank you for letting me lead this Sunday stretch session for you guys. And yeah, hope to see you again soon. Hope you have a great week.
Thank you so much, Claire. Thank you for running us through that lovely flow. It was so nice. I feel much better myself. Hope everyone else is feeling much better too. So Claire is going to be joining us every month on the last week of the month. So at the end of February, we've got Claire too. So next week is myself, full body. Then we've got lower body, upper body, and then Claire will be back for the last week of February. So if you have any feedback on today's session, please do let me know and I'll pass it through to Claire for our session in February, of course. And a good luck to Steph, who's starting on her plan tomorrow. She's just joined on to say hello to everyone this evening. And I'll drop a message in the group chat a little bit later with the recording of today's session. And any questions, you know where I am. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Enjoy your
Thanks,
evening.
guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.